is known in his career as being one of the best eulogy givers at funerals, and now they're making him come and give his own career.
He has
eulogy.
files of every eulogy.
Yeah,
he's ever
and now they're making him give his own eulogy at this convention. I mean,
you have to give one. It's best that you get to give your own.
Yeah, I guess. I am anxious to see how they handle it. It's a sticky wicket. I mean, he was bullied out of this race after 52 years of service to the Democratic Party, and it wasn't all about his age. He was unpopular. He was going to lose. It was Afghanistan. It was inflation. It was immigration. And now, and he had to be dragged out by the fingernails. I'm sorry. This is not, he's not here in a happy moment, okay? I know this yarn that's being spun in this hall that he was popular and selfless and handing on. No. It is the opposite, and everybody knows it, and yet the Democrats are engaging in this theater of looking into cameras and saying it. So it's not true. I'm interested to see how they handle it tonight, but also moving forward, because what the Republicans will do is say, look, this was Joe Biden's loyal lieutenant, the last person in the room on Afghanistan, helped him on immigration, which you hate. Now all of a sudden proposing to do something about inflation when she hasn't for 3.5 years. She will be stuck to him for the election, and will the voters buy that she had nothing to do with any of it?
Women are not without electoral. Border encounters have dropped over 50%. In fact, there are fewer border crossings today than when Donald Trump left office. Donald Trump said, and I quote, "There are very fine people on both sides. My God." That's what he said. That is what he said and what he meant. From his own chief of staff, the 4-star General John Kelly, that Trump, when in Europe, would not go to the grave sites in France. The brave service members who gave their lives to this country. He called them suckers and losers. Who in the hell does he think he is? Who does he think he is? They're the ones we're going to bring back. That's not hyperbole. It's because Medicare no longer has to pay those exorbitant prices to the big pharma. Republicans, Democrats, we saved democracy in 2020, and now we must save it again in 2024. You know, we have 1,000 billionaires in America. He's promising a bloodbath if he loses, in his words.
So we're going to talk about the fact that they waited until 11 p.m. at night when I had to go to sleep to actually make the speech. Now, I didn't get to watch the whole speech because this DNC, it ran kind of long. Like, I'm just going to be honest with you. It ran kind of long. And I think no one was they probably was expecting no one to pay attention to the Biden speech because it started at 11 p.m., right? And apparently they pushed Biden out of the primetime speaking slot, and it was kind of good on them for them because Biden made a lot of incoherent kind of statements, and that was just a supercut in the beginning. Just disclaimer there, it was a supercut. So if you guys want to watch the full thing, I don't know how you're going to find the full thing. Maybe you got to go on Kamala Harris's YouTube channel to find the whole thing. But Biden was pushed out of primetime speaking slot and what was supposed to be his convention. Like, imagine that. Apparently, he had the 8 p.m. Eastern time slot, and they moved him to 11 p.m. One thing that I also noticed about the DNC is that it seemed like it had a lot of women speaking at the event. Like, it wasn't much men, I don't think. Well, don't quote me because I haven't been watching the DNC. I was busy. But it didn't seem like a lot of men were actually speaking at the convention day one. You had Hillary Clinton. You had some senator woman there who's accusing Donald Trump to Project 2025, and he's going to prosecute people from the Department of Education, Department of Justice. And everyone in America looking at her like what the Democratic Party is doing right now. Like what you guys were trying to do when you were trying to remove Donald Trump out of the ballot. And this is pure projection from the Democratic Party. And before I go into the next clip, they kind of highlighting how they know that this is peak support for Kamala Harris. And they think, this is the last positive bump. This is the last chance they'll be able to just wish cast that Kamala Harris will be a different candidate. I just did a video. Kamala Harris's campaign, I don't think she has learned from 2020. I suspect that her campaign is this close to unraveling And the only thing that's holding her up right now is the media's protection, the media's positive coverage of her for the last 29 days.
After Labor Day. We don't want to be tied. I don't like being tied with Donald Trump because we've had now 20-plus days of positive press. He's been falling down the stairs, slipping on banana peels, and poking himself in the eyeball. We should not be tied. We want to pull ahead. That's our opportunity this week.
And that's the key point, Brianna. This campaign, the Harris campaign, has been flawless for the past 28, 30 days. And it's a tied race.
That's scary.
It's a tied race.
That's scary.
They're doing the best they can, and it's tied. That's really important.
Yep. And tonight, Biden comes out, and he's going to do one of the most beautiful acts of political leadership to step back so somebody else can step forward. It very rarely happens. You're going to have Kleenex boxes from up there to over there of people watching someone do something honorable, and it's going to make people want to fight that much harder that his sacrifice was not in vain.
I'll be crying. I'll be crying. Listen, you wanted it. I'd rather be running against Joe Biden.
Well, what do you guys think about Kamala?
It'd be cool.
She's terrible. If she comes into office, it will be done.
It'd be cool to see a female black. You know, she's half black, not fully black, but it'd be cool to see a black president,
Western Indian.
female black president. But I'm definitely voting for Trump.
Let me tell you something. She tries to get the black vote. Because if you look at her past things, and maybe 10, 15 years ago, when she's in interviews, she identifies as West Indian.
She does.
The only way that she's identified as African American is right now. Right now. Because she wants the voters. But she doesn't give a fuck. Because where was she at in these past 4 years and she's vice president? What has she done for us?
She have not.
Can you say one thing that
I didn't even know she was the vice president.
Can we say what she has done?
Let's go, Trump.
And I am going to stand on Trump, and I'm so sorry if that may ruffle people's feathers. But I have done my own research, and Trump has done a lot for us, more than what the media tries to portray. They're getting all our favorite rappers. They're having Megan Thee Stallion twerk and all of that to gain, because they think that that's going to make us vote for them. And that's not.
And that never got my vote.
And that will never get my vote.
Twerking
and I'm going to stand on that. Twerking
did
and
not
having
get my vote.
Meg Thee Stallion. First off, the song that she was even saying is very ignorant.
Yeah, I think Kamala Harris is peaking out. I think this is going to be like her peak approval ratings. I think it's going downhill from here. That's just my personal opinion, but I'll give you more clips from the DNC. So Charlie Kirk went to the DNC and he got heckled by some guy. And I wanted to cover it because it goes to show that I think if a Democrat came in, I think who went in? Shank, CNN, they got hounded like this too, but they were asked questions. And this guy has his phone out and he's trying to make a statement. And look at here what he has to say.
Affected by it? Is that pro-life, Charlie? Do you believe in giving children food? Do you believe in giving children food, Charlie? What about welfare programs, Charlie? Pro-life means protecting them after they're born, Charlie. Forcing women to give birth and then dying in the process, Charlie.
Most women don't die giving birth, right? Thanks to modern medicine, right? And then if you want to point out how, there's a high, like whoever dies. What about abortion? Abortion puts women at risk as well. So it goes both ways. Childbirth, you can die, and getting an abortion, you can die. But you don't hear much about that. There's even stories, rumors, how abortion clinics pay women to stay quiet about, certain mishaps, certain accidents that happen while trying to get an abortion. This guy don't seem to be concerned about that. As long as women dies doing what you want them to do, it's fine. If a woman dies doing an abortion, that's fine. That's okay. Take concern. I love it.
So you believe we should... That's more profane than any language I've used, Charlie. That's the party of joy. The profane, the bigot. Why are you even here?
And then he proceeds to call him a bigot. Party of joy. Unbelievable. Truly the party of joy. I got another clip for you guys. So, some lady, I don't know who this lady is, but this is the perfect ad for Trump's campaign.
If Donald Trump gets back into the White House, he's going to fire civil servants like intelligence officers, engineers, and even federal prosecutors if he decides that they don't serve his personal agenda. If Donald Trump gets...
That's kind of how it is. When you're president of the United States, you get elected by the people. That means the people support your agenda, and you have an obligation to do what the people put you in office to do. Now, cutting the government sounds like a great idea because the government's spending all this money, right? Like I said before in this video, money printing is what's causing inflation. So if you're able to bring the cost of the government down, you're able to you're more likely not to increase inflation because there's more of more room, more discretionary income for the government to use for other things. So in a way, right? Because this is why this is why corporations lay off people, because the margins between their profit and what they're spending is too close, and they're like, oh, it's too close. We gotta lay off some people, so they have more room to use those resources for other things. The government has to take the same playbook. There's a reason why government jobs are known as being safe. All right, I got clips for you. This is just going to be a whole review of the DNC, right? Because this is something that I want American voters to look out for. These are the kind of games politicians will play, right? I'm gonna keep it general. I'm gonna keep it as neutral as I can. But I just think, in my calculations, Republicans are just the more honest political party. That's it. The more honest. I'm not saying they're like the standard, but I'm saying they're the more honest compared to two. Because this is what the Democrats will play on you. This Obama advisor says that if the election was ran today, Trump will win. And I think I agree with this synopsis. Let's take a look.
The multimedia marketplace. Progress. We were all in Milwaukee a month ago, and, there was euphoria there in a sense that this race was over, that they were going to win by a landslide, perhaps sweep in big majorities in the House and Senate.
Marketplace. How encouraged should Democrats be? Is there a danger of them actually being kind of too euphoric?
Yeah, I've been talking about this for some time. Look, she's made extraordinary
multimedia marketplace.
Progress.
That's not me. This is the video.
A month ago, and there was euphoria there in a sense that this race was over, that they were going to win by a landslide, perhaps sweep in big majorities in the House and Senate, and things have changed dramatically. But this is still a very competitive race. If the election were today, I'm not sure who would win, and I think it may well be President Trump because it's an electoral college fight, and in those battleground states.
Yeah, we were looking at national numbers at the top of this program. It's misleading.
And I've said several times here that. For a Democrat to win those battleground states, they have to have a significant lead in the Electoral College. Remember, Joe Biden won by 7 million votes nationally last time, and a margin of 45,000 votes or 44,000 votes in the three closest battleground states combined. So she's right to be telling people it's good to be enthusiastic. That enthusiasm is really, really important for the Democratic Party, but you have to turn that into energetic action in order to win the election.
So yeah, I think I agree with this synopsis there, right? Like they want energy, they want people to come out and vote, but what are you voting for? That's what I want to know. What are you voting for? Like I don't understand how people can be enthusiastic for a party where they didn't even get to pick their nominee. I know, okay, there's a deal with this. She's the nominee now, but I'm just saying, like, as a voter, I'll feel disrespected if, let's say, as a voter, I wanted Trump, and they decided, nah, we don't need to listen to our voters. We'll just pick Ron DeSantis because the party think Ron DeSantis has the best chance of beating Joe Biden because we don't want to deal with Trump's baggage. Imagine if that happened in the Republican Party. You know what would happen? Democrats, y'all would have won because Republicans, conservative voters would have been like, no. But anything to win, right, Democrats? Anything to win. This is why I say I can't really trust a Democrat because I know y'all about yourselves. Y'all not really about the country, right? I keep pointing out, hey, abortion is kind of racist, 13% of the population, but they're aborting 40%. They're contributes to 40% of aborted babies. The black community. You don't think that's racist, Democratic Party? But you keep supporting abortion. More in New York, more black babies are aborted than born. You think that's a good thing? And you're the ones who hear pray, oh, you want people, don't you want kids to eat? Don't you want kids to live? I'm tired of the gaslighting from the Democratic Party, as you can tell. Let's look at this clip from Scott Jennings, who's been one of my favorite political commentators on CNN. Let's take a look.
Well, we had a real primary. I mean, the Republicans had a primary where people showed up and they voted their preferences, and then the person they voted for actually got the nomination of the party. That's not what the Democrats did. They had a rigged primary where 14 million people voted for Biden, and then they changed their minds later. So if you want to talk about the party of democracy, I do wonder about the optics of the person.
Imagine that timeline. In the beginning, of the 2024 primary, they were like, we're not going to hold no debates. And most of the time, Biden was, in a few states, Biden was the only candidate on the ballot. So everyone had to vote for Joe Biden. The voters at the time, Democratic voters, majority of them said, I think 46% of them wanted a different candidate. While like I think 30% still wanted him to run, 46% of Democratic voters wanted Joe Biden. They wanted someone other than Joe Biden. The Democrat Party said, nah, Biden's your guy, and you have to pick this guy. And I remember making videos. If you go back to my video timelines, you heard me making this point numerous times. A couple years ago, or at least like 8 months ago, 10 months ago during the primaries. And I was saying, yo, as a Democratic voter, I feel disrespected. Then, not only that, after the debate, remember, the Democratic Party picked Joe Biden to run. Then he loses to Trump in the debate. 66% of people agree that Donald Trump won that debate. Then they want to change their minds, and then they, Joe Biden, this is my opinion, Joe Biden nominated or gave his endorsement to Kamala Harris to screw over the Democratic Party for bullying him out of the primary race. Your DNC platform still referenced Joe Biden as the candidate. And so to me, that gives me more validity that Joe Biden, he did that to spite the Democratic Party for what they tried to do to him. Actually, what they did do to him. Kick him out of the party. And he said, okay, I endorse Kamala. F you. You don't think that's going on? Bro, that's the only, today, day one of the DNC is going to be the only time I think you see Joe Biden. But I digress.
Who's going to get the nomination here has never gotten a single vote for this office. At least the Republicans had a vote, and we stuck to it.
She was on the ticket with him that got 14 million votes in this primary. Also, the incumbent president running effectively more or less unopposed in the primary is pretty standard operating procedure. So to suggest now that that's somehow some sort of undemocratic.
It is. Like, you left off the context. I already mentioned the context. No debates. You had no debates. You hosted no primary debates. Donald Trump had the lion's share of the approval ratings, the lion's share of primary support, and they still had debates. Even though Trump never showed up to any of them, but they had debates at least. If something happens to Trump, God forbid, we have other candidates that we're aware of. We got Ron DeSantis, Vivek Ramaswamy. We are aware, like we have alternatives just in case something happens. When Joe Biden failed during the debate, you had no alternatives to the point where Kamala Harris was the only viable candidate that could have ran. Make it make sense, Democrats. But here she is trying to run cover for the Democrat Party. Typical media. I digress.
Effort is just, that's just not true. That's not true.
I mean, you had the guy resign by tweet. I mean.
Wait, I'm sorry. Wait, communicating by tweet is now no longer acceptable for presidential nominees?
You ran the president
you
of the United
guys might
States
have a problem with that.
He's been in this profession for 52 years, and you ran this man out of his job by tweet on a Sunday morning. I mean, it's pretty rough. I mean, look, my hat's off to you. You guys party bosses. I get it. Like, you all are rough players. I mean,
we are in Chicago.
I mean, this is like, I'm kind of in awe of it.
This is funny, bro. This is hilarious. The Party of Democracy sitting here trying to lecture people, right? 14 million people, right? This is the Party of Democracy, right? Nancy Pelosi disenfranchised 14 million Democratic primary voters and ended Joe Biden's 52-year career in a coup. I did what I had to do. My concern was not about the presidency. It was about his campaign. This is not the Party of Democracy. Like if you want to stand on principle, if you want to sit here and criticize conservatives like Charlie Kirk, I'm talking about to the Democrat in the video. Oh, you don't care about lives. You don't care about breadlines. You don't care about people. You don't care about democracy. That's the game I want to play.
You know what?
Have you talked to him? Is my only question.
What I have to do.
Right.
He made the decision for the country. My concern was not about the president. It was about his campaign. You know what?
Anything to win. Anything to win, right, guys? Anything to win, right? Bro, they bring out Jesse Jackson back in. To me, I'm like, yo, y'all we challenge these people out here, bro. I think his son also is in Congress, if I remember correctly. I think his son was also in Congress. I ain't gonna lie, bro. These people, these men right here, like, I don't know who this guy is, but I think this is his son. I'm not sure. This guy, what's his name? Al Sharpton? Not it, Chief. Not it.
I now want to bring forth a friend who has, well, he is deceptive in that his social style is of such. One can miss his seriousness, and his commitment for their success is beyond argument. When we opened this Wall Street project and we talked about it, he gave us space at 40 Wall Street, which was to make a statement about our having a presence there. Beyond that, in terms of reaching out and being inclusive, he's done that too. And created for many people a comfort zone when I ran for the presidency in 84 and 88.
You're talking about this man's talking about Donald Trump. Like, it's like we live in a different timeline. Democrats want to call him racist. Oh, Donald Trump, you're racist. Donald Trump, you're this. Donald Trump, you're that. And then you go through history and you're like, yo, when was he racist? When he ran Republican. That's the reality. That's the reality. And this is why I said, yo, I agree. I think media is the biggest reason why the current state of politics is based on all these feelies, all these feelings, and oh my God, emotions, oh my God, virtual signaling, oh my God, we want politicians to look good instead of actually doing good. I agree with Malcolm X. The most dangerous entity in the Western Hemisphere is the mainstream media. The media can make the innocent guilty and the guilty innocent, right? But I digress. More reactions.
Trump or Kamala? Our country's over already, but if she wins, we're super fucked. If Kamala Harris was here right now, what would you tell her? Do an interview? Trump or Kamala?
I feel like Donald Trump is the only one who really got our backs.
Why you say that?
Well, first of all, Uncle T got shot, man.
Uncle T.
And a lot of people in that position, the moment that would have happened, would have gave up, would have walked away. But he stood up and fought, and he keep on going. He don't even need...
Bro, like, I don't know, man. A part of me wants to do a man on the street kind of talk, but I'm in Florida. We voted for Ron DeSantis 19%, so I think it's gonna be skewed. This is my thoughts, right? But it's crazy that the Democratic Party, they rely on deception, right? Like this is what they're putting up. I'm like, yo, why are they doing this? Like, to me, I'm like, yo, like I know conservatives are making fun of it, but I'm like, yo, why would you put someone like it to me? It's like, yo, you're using someone's mental disability as like a sideshow or something. Oh, look how good we are. We're letting this man speak, even though he's incoherent. You can't understand what the hell he's saying, and you putting him out there like that. I don't know, man. To me, a lot of what the Democratic Party is doing, it's fake. It's pejorative. It's pretend. It's theater. This is political theater. When you want to hear, oh, politics is political theater, you're talking about the Democratic Party because they swear that they're running against Hitler. Go look in the history books and how Hitler actually ran. He ran like they ran. If you look at the socialists, if you look at the Nazis' party platform, it's a lot closer to the Democratic platform. Actually, a lot of the Democratic platform is similar to the Nazi platform, but they want to sit here and say they're running against a Nazi. They want to call half the country extremist. Make it make sense. They demonized Trump, calling him American Hitler. Oh, sorry, that was J.D. Vance, but he apologized. Unlike Kamala Harris, when she called Joe Biden racist, she didn't apologize, but I digress. They call Trump Hitler. So that means they still see Hitler as bad. Okay, if Hitler's bad, why are you running similar policies that he ran when he ran for office in Germany? Make it make sense. Projection. Here's my final clip of the night. You know, I went all over the place. There's a lot of material to cover, and I can't get it all in under 25 minutes. So I'll leave it off with this video, and then I give my wrap-up thoughts.
David Chalian, President Biden dropped out of the race a month and a day ago. You wouldn't know that if you read the Democratic platform because it repeatedly refers to President Biden's second term. There are roughly 19 or 20 mentions of President Biden's second term. They've had a month and a day to update it. Why haven't they?
Yeah, there won't be one of those, Biden's second term. We know that. And, listen, the platform was...
lazy. That's all I can think. Lazy, didn't want to bother. Probably thought their voters wasn't going to read it. a lot of reasons that I'm thinking up before why they didn't change this. But I digress.
Largely, the draft of it put in place and voted on earlier this summer. And I think in talking to some folks, the idea of reopening the platform to try to fit in not yet fully developed Kamala Harris policies while they were quickly changing, they thought they would be opening a can of worms, right? And that there would be all of a sudden some fights about what goes in the platform, and they wanted to avoid that at all costs. So they're willing to take the hit on the fact that.
Okay, that sounds plausible. I believe that. Kamala Harris still doesn't have thought out her whole platform. You ran for 3.5 vice president. I mean, why not just borrow what she did in 2020? Because they know she can't win on that. They're trying to find all the positions that are competitive enough for her to run, and now they're gonna make her party platform. Which means that I don't know. I don't think Kamala Harris has any ideas. I mean, we heard some of it with the economic policy, and many call her economically illiterate because of the policies positions that she pushed. Progressives love it, but moderate people know that a lot of this stuff don't work. A lot of the stuff she's asking for will cause more of the problem that she claims she's going to fix. Make it make sense, America. Don't vote for the same people that broke the system, that caused inflation. Inflation started in Joe Biden's administration, and expect the same people to fix it. You should only expect more of the same. They're going to make it worse. That's why I say, hey, look, if she wins, you saw it in the interviews, we cook. I'll continue.
That the platform is sort of a relic of the Biden era because it's a non-binding thing. They'll vote officially today as part of the party business to put it into effect. But as you know, it has no binding capacity.
So she's not going to be held accountable to what their party platform is. So when I make my argument and say, hey, you got no party platform, you're going to run and tell me, oh, wait, we do have a party platform. And then you heard the guy on CNN say that it's non-binding. That was based on their previous administration. They couldn't agree on a current agenda, so they used the old agenda. Didn't I tell you? These Democrats want to hide the policy agenda. So in my argument, in my humble opinion, America, we should not vote for Democrats. Nobody should be voting. If you're an American, especially, you should definitely not be voting a Democrat in 2024. These people are hiding their policies. They're hiding what they're actually trying to do. And they gave you a sneak peek. They saw that you didn't like the sneak peek, and they're like, no more peek for you. This is insanity. People talk about how you shouldn't be voting on ignorance, but you're ignorant about the policy positions of your current candidate, Kamala Harris. Make it make sense, Democrats. Make it make sense. I'll end it off there. Let me know your thoughts about the DNC day one. What are your thoughts about Joe Biden's speech? What are your thoughts about how the DNC currently is going on? I know for me, it feels chaotic because of what's probably going on outside, but I digress. I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.